Discover the best-kept secrets from the leading entrepreneurs across the globe. Learn from the greatest minds in business with the MyCoda podcast. Here's your host, Sam Payne.
What's up, everybody? Sam Payne here, and thank you for joining us for another session of the MyCoda podcast. Now, today's guest brought so much value to the table. It is unreal. Ken Kelly. Now, I first heard of him on SPI when Pat Flynn was interviewing him on the Smart Passive Income. And on there, Ken, firstly, I like Ken because he was a fellow Brit. It's always a bonus. Secondly, he just delivered so much value and he was so passionate about what he'd done. You could hear it in his voice. You could hear that he loved to help people. And he just sounded so genuine in that interview that I thought I have to get him on this show. So the second I heard that interview with him and Pat Flynn, I was straight onto my emails, fired an email over to Ken, and to my surprise, he thankfully agreed to come onto the show and share his knowledge with everyone on the MyCoda podcast. So today, Ken was talking about customer-centric marketing. Now, customer-centric marketing is all about really listening to your customers. And we talk about how you can even get to your customers, how you recognize your customers, then how you get the information you need to provide your customers the products that they want to buy. And it's a blueprint that Ken has laid out to literally dominate your market and really just take over the niche you're in, because it's all about keeping your mouth shut, which is quite ironic considering we're on a podcast, and keeping your ears open, okay? And it's about listening to what the customer really wants. And Ken goes into a ton of detail about how you can really utilize this method of marketing, either in an offline or an online business. So, guys, get your notepads and pens out. I'm going to leave the intro here because this is an awesome interview and I know you're going to get tons from this one. So here it is, guys. This is the MyCoda podcast with Ken Kelly from Conversion Marketer. Good morning, Ken. How are we?
Hey, great to be here. Absolutely great to be here. And excited for what today may bring and where the road might lead and what value we can bring to your valued listeners.
Yes, from speaking previously, I'm sure you're going to deliver a lot of value. So I'm excited to see what comes from this one. Before we kick things off, though, could you just please introduce yourself and what it is you do?
Sure. And I'm going to do this really briefly. I'm going to say my name is Ken Kelly. I'm a conversion marketer. I'm a customer-centric conversion marketer, which means I value very importantly what the customer means within a business and how that can help guide a business. And I'm not going to go any further than that, and I'm going to tell you why. Your listeners are listening. You're listening to this. I'm in your ears. And to be honest, you don't really care who I am. You don't care who I am in the same way as when somebody visits your website, they don't care who you are either. And I can prove this to you. It's really easy. Just go on your internet history. Have a look at the websites you visited lately. Let me ask you this. Who owns those websites? Who are those people? You don't know, because you don't care. And that's what customer centricity is about. It's about understanding what people do care about. So I know what you care about today, and that's getting value from this. Taking away something you can take and use in your business, which is going to make a difference. And that's my commitment. That's what I'm going to bring today.
That's awesome. You're the only person who's ever answered like that, and I love that answer. So we'll get straight into it. You are an expert when it comes to customer-centric marketing, but could you tell us a bit more about your company, Conversion Marketer, and what customer-centric marketing is?
Of course can. So, the first thing about customer-centric marketing, before I kind of give you a definition, I want to tell you who it's for. So you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, what is it and is it really for me? It's for you. That's the one thing I can promise you. It doesn't matter whether you are a beginner, whether you've been in business for 10, 15 years, whether you do online work, whether you do offline work, customer centricity can and will make a difference within your business if you take the time to learn the basic techniques and put them in place. So there's the thing. This is actionable stuff. It's going to make a visible and measurable difference within your business. And that's what Conversion Marketer, that's conversionmarketer.com, that's my business. And it's about making measurable, I can't say measurable, but that's what we do, measurable differences within people's businesses. And that you can actually see the needle moving, and customer centricity kind of keys into that. And before I give you a definition, I kind of just want to go into how I found this. I was doing some CPD, so that's continuing professional development, which is exactly what you're doing when you're listening to this now. You're developing yourself as a person. You're learning for your business. So I was doing some CPD. And I was listening to a old times 80s salesman talking on YouTube, one of those like really snowy videos. And he was waving his hands around evangelically. And he was talking about how important it is to see what you do through the eyes of your customer, to be able to understand it from their perspective, from their point of view. And I guess we all know that at some level. But he said a word, and the word really stuck out for me. And he said the word empathy. Now, empathy is kind of having an understanding of what somebody else is thinking or feeling, and then reflecting that back in such a way that the person who's thinking or feeling that understands that you get it. Yeah, so it makes that connection, makes that bond. And when I heard the word empathy, it was like an epiphany. The penny dropped. Years of kind of learning and bits that I picked up all came together in one big like flash. It was like that, oh, moment. Empathy, it's about seeing it from your customer's point of view. And the reason it made sense is because part of my training, part of my road was that I've been in business for many years. I've worked as a sales director. I've done all the corporate stuff, and I left to pursue online because I just love it. And anyone you're listening to this because you love it too. It's just great building businesses online. But there was a bit missing there. So I went on and I studied to become a psychotherapist because I wanted to kind of give a little bit back as well. And in psychotherapy, you spend 3 years studying, a year in placement, over 100 hours of supervised placement hours. And all you learn about is empathy during this, how to be there with another fellow human being and hear what they're bringing, try and understand it as they perceive it, as they perceive their world, and then reflect that back to them in a way that they feel that you understand them and you get it. And, within psychotherapy, it's a very special relationship because a total stranger walks in with a lifetime of pain, sits down with someone they don't know, and within a very short period of time, they're sharing things with that person that they've never shared with another human living soul. And that takes an incredible level of trust to be able to share those kind of things. So it's a trusting relationship, the psychotherapy relationship. Now, if we know as marketers that people buy from people that they know, like, and trust, then, hey, this trust thing is important. And can we bring this trust into our businesses in the ways that we deal with our customers? And that's what customer-centricity is. That's my philosophy of it, is that there are things we can do. There are ways that we can act. There are things that we can implement that will help build that trust quickly, like in the therapeutic relationship. It's built almost instantly. So there's a little bit of the background of what that is. And
I think building trust is probably one of the hardest things to do when you haven't actually met a person. You're seeing their content, or you've stumbled across their content, you click to their site. So what advice could you give guys out there to really implement some effective changes to their site that will help them build trust with the potential client or customer when they hit their pages?
Oh, Sam, I love that question. I'm rubbing my hands together with glee as you're asking that, because that's what today's about. It's about sharing that with you. So I'm going to tell you what it isn't. Yeah, because I guess if you're listening to this, you've heard before, oh, it's all about know, like, and trust. You've got to build that trust with your customer, and you've got to get Here's the thing, you can't fake it. This is not something you can fake. You actually have to really give a damn. You have to actually really care about that person that you're interacting with, that's going to buy from you. And today, so what I'm hoping to do is leave you with some stuff. So there's not a short answer for this, Sam. Leave you with some stuff that's going to give you an understanding of what customer-centric marketing is, why it's going to be important in your business. That's the important bit. In your business, this is for you. And you're going to understand what the benefits are to you and also to your customers. And then I'm going to show you some tricks, some strategies, some tips that you can use, things that you can implement that's going to make your business more customer-centric. And it all boils down to, I guess, that way of being It was discovered by a man called Carl Ransom Rogers, 1950s. He was the pioneer of modern-day psychotherapy as we know it, and he identified certain conditions that were needed within a psychotherapy relationship that would cause that trust to be built. And I guess I'll be sharing a few of those as we go forward today. Can I start off with a picture?
Yeah,
I want
to
paint a picture here. What is it? They said that radio and, of course, now podcasting is the theater of the mind. So I'm going to paint a picture, and I want you all to try this because I want to show you what customer centricity isn't. Yeah? Because if you can understand what it isn't and how that makes you feel, then it gives us, I guess, an insight into maybe what it is. So I want you to imagine or think for a moment of a radio station that you really don't like, that plays the kind of music that really just doesn't suit you as a person. For me, that's easy. Yeah, I'm 48 years old, and I don't get the modern day type music. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't fit. And when I listen to a radio station that specializes in that kind of music, I don't feel a connection with the DJ. I don't feel a connection with the adverts that they put on. I certainly don't feel a connection with the music. Now, here's the thing. I want you, listening to this, to do that. I want you to tune into a radio station that doesn't fit for you. So if you're maybe a young person and you enjoy that kind of oof music that I kind of repel against, then maybe you want to be going and finding a classic or an easy listening station. Pick something you're not comfortable with. Pick something that doesn't fit you and listen to it and see how it feels. You want out. You don't want to be there. You don't want to listen. You want to tune out and you want to tune into the thing that you resonate with. It's not customer-centric. You're not the target customer of that radio station. When I listen to the modern oof music, I want to go away. I want to go back to the easy listening. I want to go back and listen to the music of the 80s, the stuff that I refer to as the good stuff. But that's for me.
Yeah.
And customer centricity is about a match with your customer. And I can promise you this, it doesn't matter what you do. You may sell a product, you may have a service. Your product or service is not a match for every single person out there. And customer centricity is about finding out who your customer is, speaking to them directly, playing the kind of music, I guess, in inverted commas, that they want to hear.
And one point which I think people struggle a lot with is actually establishing who their customer is. Because without that, I mean, it's quite hard to do anything else we've been talking about so far. So what advice could you give the guys out there to one, recognize their customer, and two, find them?
Excellent. So first of all, I'm going to give you a barrier to finding your customers because that's the golden grail, isn't it? So where's the customers? Show me the customers. Give me the 3 steps to finding my ideal customer. I'm going to write them down. I'm going to get home and I'm going to do them. Yeah. Well, there's more to it than that because there's a barrier. There's a massive barrier. It's the biggest barrier that you're going to face in making your business customer-centric. And that is yourself. Wow. So in order to define your ideal customer, you have to have a real, honest, truthful look at who you are, who you can resonate with, who you can connect with. So I'm going to share a concept with you. It's a concept called... It's basically, it's about how it's called self-concept, and it's about how we view the world. So think for a moment again, for yourself, how you view the world, what you think about certain things, what opinions you have on politics, on religion, on certain kinds of people or groups of people that you may meet with, their race, their gender. What are the kinds of people that bring up stuff for you? Yeah, what kind of, when you find yourself in conversations saying things like, yeah, but those kind of people, blah, 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 because you're categorizing a group of people there.
Yeah.
So here's the premise. The premise is that we don't see the world how it is. Now, this is a proven psychological rule. It just is. We don't see the world how it is. We see the world how we are. How you listening to this, how you are, that you've experienced within your life, your culture, your upbringing, that you've been told. You develop your truths from that. And those are the truths that we project out on the world, and we say, it is so. But here's the thing. So you go to a different country. There are countries where they don't believe in capitalism. And you may well be listening to one of those countries from today when you're listening to this podcast. But there are countries where capitalism is what it's all about. Now, if you're listening to a get your business off the ground, or start a podcast, chances are you're buying into the, hey, I want to make something for myself. But there are other people who truly believe that that is not the right way to go. So whose truth is right? Is it yours or theirs? And it's about weighing that out, because your truth is just the way that you look at the world. So we've got this self-concept, this barrier. It's almost like a distorted lens that we look through. So step one in identifying your ideal customer is challenging your own truths, asking yourself, who am I really? And how can I be the genuine best me? Because the genuine best me is going to indicate who you're going to fit with, who's going to be your right kind of audience. So there's the barrier for you. But now let me answer your question, because you said, well, where do you look and how do you do this? Step one is not to be product-centric. So product-centric is saying, right, so the way I'm going to find my ideal audience, and I rub my hands together again here, is I'm going to look what products I've got, and I'm going to look outside and see who I can flog them to, who I can sell them to. That's an English saying, isn't it? I'm going to flog you my stuff.
The Del Boy approach.
Yeah, it's like in the UK here we have market traders who are kind of renowned for kind of almost conning or swindling you into buying things you don't want to buy. So that is a product-centric approach where I've got product A to sell, so how am I going to sell it to those people? It's the wrong way round. That's the inside-out approach. You want to be looking at the outside-in approach. And the outside-in approach is, who are the people that I feel that I can connect with, that I can resonate with? What are their needs? What's the stuff they struggle with? How can I help that? How can I be part of that solution? That's going from outside in, looking at your customers or looking at the area that you want to market into, that you feel a connection with, and looking at what their pains are, and then working that back and looking at your products or creating your products to fit that. And if you want to see an example of this, look at Amazon.
Yeah.
A man starts out in his garage selling books. Yeah, books. Now they are global and they sell anything. There's nothing you can't buy on Amazon. And it's interesting, here in the UK, Amazon have just started delivering groceries. They're not a grocery company. They're not. They do electronics now. They do book. They do not do groceries. So why would a non-grocery company sell groceries? It's because they listened to their customers. And their customers said, man, these grocery companies are rubbish. I wish they could deliver like you Amazon guys do. And they went, oh, okay. We will go from outside in. We will be customer-centric. We will listen to what you're saying. And we will make it our job to provide that you, our valued customer, wants. And it's no wonder the guy running the business is one of the richest men in the world. Yes. He's got the right views on it.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that when he took Amazon, he sold a load of Amazon's stocks and shares, and he made like $6 billion in 30 minutes or something ridiculous. Crazy figure.
Good for him. Good for him. And there you go. There's the benefits. You know, what are the benefits of being customer-centric? Well, you're going to get customer loyalty. That's it. You're going to get the loyalty of your customers. Who listening to this hasn't shopped at Amazon? And who's not going to shop again at Amazon? We just do. We're loyal. We're going to go back there. You're going to get a following. You know, a following is important. You're going to build your own tribe. And you're going to make money out of it. Because if you're listening and reacting to what your audience is saying, you'll always be a step ahead of your competitor. Marketing used to be active. You'd get out there and actively shout, hey, the person with the biggest advertising budget, they were the winner.
Yeah.
You know, because they had the loudest voice to shout it even louder to you. But today, you got a mobile, you got a tablet, you got a PC, you got a laptop. You exercise selective consumption. You're not listening to the radio right now. You're listening to a podcast that's going to inform you how to run your business. Why are you not listening to the radio? Because you don't want to. You choose what you listen to. We as consumers are smart now. We're blocking out all of that advertising stuff that we don't want to hear. I mean, I want to ask you a question. How many emails did you delete from your inbox today without reading them? Just from the headline of that email, you thought, no, that's not for me, and just deleted it. Here's the scary question. How many people delete your email from their inbox? You know, you receive an email with this, hey, headline, and you think, oh, no, not another one. What a load of spam. So for you receiving it, it's spam. When you're sending out an email like that because you've got a great product and you've got a great idea and a great service, you don't think of it as spam. The person sending you that email didn't think spam. They thought, whoa, they spent time thinking about the headline, writing it down. It's not customer-centric. You didn't care. You didn't care. So what can you do that your audience member, when they get your email, they're not going to spam it. They're going to go, oh, yeah, that's valuable. I want to open that because I care.
Yes, I love that. I absolutely love that. And I mean, with the guys you're working with, do you find that even if they can establish what the problem is, they feel they're personally not in a position to provide that? So, for example, Jeff Bezos probably knows nothing about groceries, but delivers groceries now. So, do you ever find yourself advising people to actually go out and find out more information and develop the skill before they come back and take something to market?
Sure, definitely. So let's go into that. So here's some actionable techniques that you can use. How do you find out about your audience? Because that's first. So you look at yourself, you look at your self-concept, you realize that how you look at the world is through this lens that distorts. So you try and be the most genuine person you can. You see where that connection's going to be. And most of you listening to this are already have gone away through that process. You know what it is that you want to do. You know who your target audience is. But now you want to define them. You want to become more specific of who they are. And the way you do that is you put together a number of personas or avatars. They're called avatars. I'll make a resource available from this podcast where you can go and download my avatar template that I use. And an avatar is basically you sit down and you define who your ideal client is. And it's important here, your ideal client, your best client, your most wonderful client, not your average client. There's a mistake that a lot of people make when they put an avatar. Oh, my average client. No, your most wonderful client. This is your avatar, yeah? And you build that. So an avatar is not a little blue man who runs around on an animated film. An avatar is where you imagine who this ideal buyer is. You give them a name, male or female. You decide who they are. You decide where they live, where in the world they are. Are they in the United States? If they are in the United States, what state are they in? What town are they in? Really drill it down and be specific. Are they married? Are they not married? Are they in a relationship? Do they have children? What age are they? What job do they do? How do they like to spend their time? So as you start defining this avatar, you start kind of learning more about who they are, your ideal customer, who they are, and more about the things that they like to do. So if you find out the things they like to do, you can start saying, where might these people hang out? So if it sounds a little bit woolly, then go and download the avatar template and do it, because it crystallizes as you start filling it in. You find yourself going, whoa, hey, this is cool. And you start defining who that target audience member is. I even go as far as getting a little picture. I go on Google and I search a picture for kind of the age range and I stick it on, give them a name, and then stick it up somewhere where you see it all the time. So anything you're doing, you look at your avatar, you read over the avatar, and you almost react to them. You speak to them. They are your person. So I'm just going to go back to the radio station with the music that doesn't suit me, the oof, oof, oof music, yeah? So the avatar for that kind of music is probably a younger person than myself. I don't have the exact age, but they'd be able to match that age. Where might that person hang out? Well, they might go to clubs. They might go to gyms. So you'd start defining who they are, what actions they take. And if you go and then hang out in the places that your avatar might hang out, so if we do that digitally online, you might go to the kind of blogs that your avatar might read. Don't have a look at the comments that people are making, because if that's where your avatar might hang out, what comments are they making? What questions are they asking? What language are they using to word their comments? Write it down. Because if you can use the same language back at them in your sales letters, in your copy on your website, you're starting to make that connection. You take their words and use them back. Those are the phrases, those are the questions there. So Facebook groups, go and find the Facebook groups that they might hang out in. So that is going somewhere in creating the avatar to understand who that person is. And then I guess it's about looking at how you can help with the products that you have. And if you don't have those products, maybe you can put them into development. Maybe you can futurize that. Maybe those requirements of your audience can drive you as you go forward, as opposed to you deciding what you're going to serve up. How often do people out there build something, then go out and look for their avatar, and then find that it's a mismatch and that nobody wants it? Here in the UK, we've got a program called Dragon's Den. I think it's called Shark Tank elsewhere in the world. Go watch that. There's not a person who walks in who doesn't believe they have a good idea. How many people get an investment? Very few, because they don't think it through. And thinking it through, starting with your avatar, customer-centric. Who are they? What do they want? How can I help solve that problem? Because you go from being a supplier of products and services to owning an area of problems with a defined person within that.
Yeah, and I'm kind of cringing while you're saying that, because when I first started out, I made every mistake you stated there and wasted a lot of time and money. So I think if anyone's going to take just one thing away from this, it's probably that, because if you get that wrong, you're just going to waste so much time. It's the demoralising process as well. So, okay, so you've established how to recognise your avatar, how to recognise their needs, and you've got a product. Now, there are many marketing channels when it comes to online and offline businesses, but firstly, for the guys listening, what are the key ones they need to be focusing on?
The key ones that you need to be focusing on within your business are the ones that your ideal customer is steeping themselves in. So you want to follow them as opposed to try and lead them. So if your ideal customer listens to podcasts, get a podcast up and running and get out there. If your ideal customer is on Snapchat, get on Snapchat. My ideal customer's not on Snapchat. I'm not on Snapchat. I hang out in the places where my avatars hang out. So where you focus your time and your effort should be guided by your avatar. I'm going to share something really, I guess, great learning that I've learned. I've done this for years, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And Sam, you mentioned that you cringe because you've made all the mistakes. I think that's part of the learning. And I'm so grateful to have made so many mistakes and wasted so much money because I learned so much from it. And making mistakes is okay. Making mistakes is part of the learning journey. If you're out there now and you're trying this and it's not working, it's okay. We've all been there. Failure is the day that you say, that's it, I give up. I'm not doing this anymore. That's failure. Yeah. As long as you get up and go, let me try another way. Okay, that idea didn't work. I'm going to try this. Then you're not failing. Then you're just learning and you're succeeding and you're paying your school fees.
Yes. And if people still want to utilize, say, like the normal marketing avenues that are generally used, like SEO, social media marketing, even things like pay-per-clicks, everything out there that people are doing, are these still beneficial, even if not you feel 100% of your market are using these? Is it still beneficial to explore these or not?
It depends. It really depends. I mean, there's great channels out there, and if you look at things like pay-per-click and you look at things like Facebook marketing, remarketing, these are the advertising methods of our time. They're now, they're current, and they work, and they have an amazingly broad reach. So if you look at Facebook advertising, and I'm just taking this as an example now, one of the things that you'll be asked when you go through your Facebook advertising, when you're setting up your campaigns, is you're going to be asked to define who your customer is. You're going to be asked to narrow that down. And they've got a little meter on the side, and the more you narrow it down, the better that ad's going to do, and the more targeted. It's now about laser targeting. And the same is true of if you're doing pay-per-click AdWords. Of course, you can use pay-per-click AdWords because it is likely, if you start doing a startup or if you're running a business online, that the people that are looking for your product, service, or have a pain in that area are going to be online. And if they type stuff in Google and you've got the keyword that's going to trigger the AdWord, it's going to be there. So, of course, you want to be there. Here's the secret. What does that ad say? That's it. Because if you know who that person is, you know who that person is, you can put your headline to talk directly to them. And that's where it becomes effective. That's where customer centricity takes you to the next level. It absolutely annihilates and wipes out your competitors because they're not able to compete because they're shouting about how good their product is. You are speaking to that person and their problem. So if I was searching and I saw, I was bombarded by all of this young person music. I hope I'm not alienating young people as I say this. Actually, I like a little bit of it. My daughter's introduced me, so yeah, I'm partial. I'm just using it as an example. I don't mean to be disrespectful to anybody's music taste. So let's say that I'm searching on Google and I get a thing that comes up and says, are you tired of all this modern music and want to listen to something more 80s style? I'm going to go, yes! It's me! And I'm going to click on it because it's speaking directly to me. If it said, hey, we've got this great new radio station you're going to love, I'm going to go, yeah, so's everybody. Yeah. And I'm going to scroll down. So use your common marketing channels. Just make it person-centric. And what are you putting in there? How do you find those headlines? Well, you create your avatar. You go and hang out in the places they're hanging out. Remember I said lift the phrases that they're using? Use their phrases. Use their words back to them. If you see a question asked enough times by your ideal avatar, use it. Use it. Because people are asking that question. They're going to relate to that question. It's going to resonate.
That's incredible advice. And, I mean, it's all well and good utilising all these marketing avenues, but you talk about a conversion strategy. So, firstly, what is a conversion strategy and how can people really utilise this?
Oh, I love conversions. You see, here's the thing. Without conversion, this is all just a waste of time. So what a conversion is you're going to set a goal. Yeah. And if I say to you now, right, so you've got an online business or a business and you've got to set your goal. What is your goal? You might say, when the customer buys my product. So that's a very big goal. That's a very big goal. That's almost like a retirement goal, that is. It's a long way away. So here's the thing. When you're talking about conversion strategy is, of course, you've got that goal of that sale. But it's what are the steps that are going to lead your avatar, your ideal customer, to reaching that goal. And being able to map out, measure, every step of the way is really, really important. So you might say, well, I want to sell them my course through my website. Well, you can't. There's the reality. You're not selling them no course through your website. Why? Because they're not on your website yet. You're far too far ahead in your plan here. Conversion marketing right down to the bottom. How do you get them to your website? Well, if you know who your avatar is and where they hang out, you're going to be putting little value bombs within those areas. So maybe you're also commenting on blog posts where they're asking questions and maybe suggesting solutions and maybe suggesting your website. Maybe you're doing pay-per-click advertising. Maybe you're advertising through Facebook. But you're generating traffic. Goal number one, they land on your website. You're still not selling them your course, I can promise you that. How many times do you land on a website and scroll immediately to the how can I buy your course button and get your wallet out? You're not going to do that. Yeah? You are a cold prospect, and so is the person landing on your site. So when they get to your website, what is there to engage them? So you've got the attraction. You've attracted them using the words that they use. You now get them to your website. They land there. Go look at your website analytics. If you don't have analytics on your website, Stop listening to podcasts and go and put analytics on your website.
Absolutely.
Because you can't measure without analytics. Yeah, there's loads of free online tutorials. Go to YouTube and say, how do I do analytics? It's there for you. Go put analytics on, yeah? So using your analytics, go and have a look at your site now and look at what is the average length of time somebody stays on your page. Here's my mind-reading prediction. It's not long. People don't stick around long. Think of your own browsing habits. You land on a website, you're like, yeah, scroll. Yeah, okay, bye, poof, gone. And they're doing that to your website too. So here's the next part of the conversion, is have something when they land on your website that engages them, something that speaks in their language, that's important to them, and helps solve their problem. Don't sell your product. Hi, welcome to my website. Guess what you can buy from me? They don't care. They want something for them. They come in for the what's in it for me mindset. So give them something that's there for them. Maybe you have what's called an opt-in magnet, where you say, give me your email address and I'll give you something valuable. It's an asset, a value asset to the that's going to match what they clicked on to come in. Yeah. So they clicked on maybe a Google pay-per-click AdWords. They come in and there's something of value that they can get. You're now going to take them from being a browser on your website to being a lead. And you do that through the engagement. Then your lead, you're going to nurture them. You're going to look after them like a little baby. You're going to hold them in the hand and go, noomy. You're going to look after them. You're going to tell them how wonderful they are. You're not going to send them an email. And I know there's marketing strategies out there. It's a tripwire offer, hi, and you can work with these things. Don't get me wrong. This is not that it's not person-centric marketing. I've got businesses that I run with tripwire offers, but I know who those avatars are. I know the solution, and I'm putting a really good solution in front of them. But if you just put a product in front of somebody that makes no sense and they're not warm, they're gone forever. How many websites do you go back to? We just don't, you know? So the nurture sequence is about offering value, really speaking to them in a way that they can understand, so that they're now know, like, and trust is being built. They go, hey, you know what? This chap is, or chapette, is pretty cool. I like what they've got. Man, they've given me this valuable opt-in magnet, this asset, this digital ebook that I could download from their site. And I've read through. That's actually really good. I've never thought of it like that. Then they get another email from you that says, hey, check out this video of these 3 tips to help you do blah, blah, blah. Speaking to me, my need. Man, I'm really liking this. These 3 tips are actually taken from my course. Oh, really? I want to know about the course, but it's not telling me about the course. The next email, here's something else that's taken from my course. Hey, if you're interested in my course, here's the link. You can actually, because you're on my list, you can actually have a discount to buying the course for the next 7 days. Wow. Now we got a relationship going here.
Yeah.
And so there you go. So and then, you know, there we're now moving towards the sale. And those people who tell me that the sale is their goal, I'm going to ask you to relook at that. Go where you say that your sale is your goal, cross it out, and say happy returning customers instead of the sale. Because once you've got the sale, the relationship doesn't end. It's just the beginning.
Yes.
Take the person who's bought from you, look after them, nurture them even more than you would a new prospect, because you've got a higher chance of selling to somebody that is a customer than somebody just coming in. Look after them, speak to them in a language they understand, solve their problems, ask them what they want, create it, deliver it, and you'll have customers for life. And here's what you shouldn't be doing. So you've bought my course. Thank you very much. I'm now going to send you an email that's got your login for the course. There you go. We all do that. There you go. You got the login for my course. And then 2 days later, I'm going to send you a question and say, so how are you getting on with my course? What do you think of my course? How can I make my course better? Forget your course. Think about them. Yeah. Try and change the questions that we ask people away from what it is that we do to what they do. So it might be you've had some time to look over that course now. I hope that that's a really good fit for you. But I'm really interested in what areas you think that we could concentrate more on. Where can I bring more value to you? And they'll tell you. And that informs the next course. You build another course.
there's your validation right there.
There's your next and you still get the lines going, oh, I've looked at it and it's great, and you still get your testimonials from there, but it gives you the opportunity. So you're happy returning customers that become brand loyal ambassadors. They're out there being the voice of your business. You know, the best salesperson is a happy customer because they tell their mates. They hang out on the media and say, hey, have you seen this guy or this girl? Customer-centricity.
Yeah, again, more awesome advice. I mean, you've dropped quite a lot of knowledge bombs here, Ken. I'm actually loving this interview so far. And people may be sitting there and I'm going, do you know what? That all sounds good, but I don't have the time. This takes a lot of time. So firstly, I mean, how much time, if we look at percentages, how much time do you reckon is dedicated to actually delivering value, free value to build trust? And then how much time do you reckon is spent on executing the sale and delivering the product?
Wow, that's a tricky one. I'm not quite sure how to answer that.
Okay.
So for me, you're always delivering value. You never stop delivering value. You deliver value from the moment you wake up in the morning to the moment you go to bed at night. You're thinking, how can I deliver value? Every interaction that you have with a customer or a potential customer or even a potential lead by leaving a comment on a blog post is an opportunity for you to drop value. If you can add value to every transaction that you undertake within a day, it will naturally make you a wealthy person. I don't necessarily mean wealthy in money. It's just wealthy in what life gives you. You know, we get back that we put out. I don't need to tell you this. This has been written in the books from the dawn of time. Karma, yin and yang. It's all there. And we call it in business. We call it reciprocity. It's about what you give out. And my view is just to continuously give value. So when I was asked to come to your podcast today, Sam, I spent my time looking at your website. I'd spent my time thinking about who your listener is. I spent my time listening to your podcasts, what people are bringing, and thinking to myself, what can I give that will be really valuable to you for inviting me, and I'm very grateful for that, and to your audience. What I can get out of this was not even a consideration. Sure, I have got a tiny consideration where I'm going to say, hey, you can download my avatar template, and you can. Yeah, you can come over to my business, you can download my avatar. But it really is just thrown in there as a last minuter. It's not my strategy. My strategy is to continuously deliver immense value. And I do okay. I got 6 businesses that run online. I do okay from them. I'm really happy. I'm not the richest man in Babylon. Great book, by the way. Go read it.
Amazing book, yeah, definitely.
But I do okay, and I'm happy. I'm at peace. I sleep well at night. It's authentic what I do. It's real because I guess going right back to where we started from, I started by examining my own self-limiting beliefs. I started by challenging my own self-concept and breaking that distorted lens to be the most genuine me I could do. I deal with people that I feel that I've got a resonance with. When you contacted me, Sam, I got your email. You contacted me because I was a guest on Pat Flynn's podcast, and Pat Flynn is the dude. He's just the dude. You know, who doesn't listen to Pat Flynn? A lot of people do. So I got a lot of emails from doing that podcast, but I answered yours, and I'm on your podcast because you came across genuine, you were truthful and open and honest, and a fellow Brit.
Yeah, that always helps.
Yeah, so everyone has to move to England if you want to be successful in business. No. So there you go. So how much time? Forever. Everything you do. So even if you're putting that ad together because you're going to advertise and you want to sell your product, how can I deliver value? You're building your course, not how much money can I make from this? How can I deliver value? On your sales page, how can I deliver value? In your nurture sequence, in your sales funnel that sells your course, how can I deliver immense value? It's just, it just really pays. I would be 80-20, 80% deliver value, 20%. Of course, we've got businesses to run. Of course, we've got structures and frameworks to work within. That's part of the deal. But if you come at it firstly and foremostly from a what can I do for my customer basis, wow, really, wow, it is revolutionary. Try it. You've got nothing to lose. Just try it.
Yeah. And I think people, especially in such a fast-moving world, lack patience. And you said there you got 6 businesses, but obviously that didn't happen overnight. So, I mean, just for yourself personally, how long did it take you to build this portfolio of businesses? And when you're dealing with people and helping them with their marketing, do you find it is an issue that people just aren't patient enough and want everything now?
Yeah, and we live in that, it's a consumer world, isn't it? It's, I want it now, I want it instantly. We spoke about Amazon and how they match the customer needs and how society is going. Well, the latest development from Amazon is that you can order something and you'll have it within an hour. I mean, that is just insane. Think about this, an hour. And as if that wasn't enough, they're now trialing here in the UK drone delivery, where they're going to be delivering your packages by drone. It is just so awesome. I want one of those drones. So you put your order in, and it goes zzz, and comes to your house and lands on your lawn, and there's your delivery. So this is how instant the world is becoming. But here's the thing, you know, there's a downside to this consumerism and this gimme, and it's that we don't value stuff as much. Human relationships, interactions, even the things we get. Here, I'm going to prove it to you. How many opt-in magnets have you downloaded and never even looked at them? Here's my email address. Here's my name. Oh, I want that because I see value in it. Right, got it. Moving on. Not even looking at it. Well, it's okay.
So true.
Me too. I put them all in this special file that one day I'm going to apparently go and look at.
Called the trash bin.
But that's the way that it is, you know. So I get that you want it, and I get that you want it now. Anything worth doing is worth doing properly. If this is your business, have a look beyond your business goals and have a look at your life goals. What is it you want to do with your life? Where do you want to end up being? And plan to get there. And plan to get there. It's the same as conversion marketing. You've got kind of a map, and every single step along the way is a conversion. It's the same, you know. It took me, to answer your question, 10 years. It took me 10 years to put my businesses together. More of them failed than worked. Before it was livable, it 6 years before it was livable. Yeah. Before I could earn a living, I was working. I was doing a job. And here's what I did. I decided that my internet marketing part of what I did was my passion. I loved it. And I undertook learning rather than expecting immediate results. I wanted results, but I was able to measure results and be happy with, hey, I got another 5 people on my list. There was a time where when I got 5 people on my list, it was cause for immense celebration. Immense. Now I have thousands of people coming onto lists on a daily basis. And you know what? I think I valued it more when it was 5, because I valued each individual. I would go look at their names. I would go and I wanted to email each. I wanted to handwrite a letter to each one of them. Say, hey, I really love you. Thank you.
So British.
Use your time. Use your time while you're doing this. If rushing is not an option, all you're left with is the ability to take your time. So if you're going to take your time, be considered. Be thoughtful, and build something awesome. Build something that you can be proud of, something that you will look back on and say, yeah, I did that. And you don't build those things in a few moments. Anything that is of good quality within this world, anything, pick a consumer item that is of good quality. It took time and research and development to get it there. Look at an iPhone. Look at a Bentley motor car. They are made with precision, and they're made with care, and they're made with love. Put the same into your business, and you will be repaid tenfold. I promise you.
And Ken, I mean, a lot of guys out there have got offline business as well as online businesses. So these strategies we've been talking about, is there a difference in a way you apply them with offline and online businesses?
I also have businesses that are not online. and I use the same philosophy. It's a philosophy. Being customer-centric is not, it's less of stuff you do, and it's more something you are. It's a philosophy that you undertake to embrace in your business. And it's about delivering value everywhere you can to the right customers, not to everyone, to your ideal customer when it matches your avatar. So I certainly embrace this philosophy in my offline business. Of course, online, you just have a different tool set at your disposal.
Yeah.
But I guess even if you're working an offline business, you may still be using emails. You're still interacting. It may be a telephone call. It'll be about how you interact with the telephone call. You can ask the same questions that you would on a telephone call as you might in a encouraging in like feedback forms or online questionnaires where people are commenting on your stuff. So certainly.
And so, say for example, people have done everything right. They've got them to their website. They've got them to opt in for something they feel is valuable. Once they're in that sales funnel, how could you advise people to structure that funnel so they naturally build to a sale without forcing it upon the person that's in that sales funnel?
Yeah. So there's a great truth in life that nobody likes to be sold stuff. Who you don't like to be sold? Nobody. No. I don't like. Try and sell me stuff, and you're gone. You're blown out of the water straight away. And here's a great way to evidence that. So the phone rings. See if you can relate to this. The phone rings, and you pick it up, and it's good morning, sir. How are you today? What woo! My spidey senses kick in. I don't know what they're selling, but I'm out of there. Yeah. So we don't like to be. And the interesting thing is, they might be selling genuine Rolexes for $5. You know, you don't even know it. You don't care because as soon as somebody's trying to sell you stuff, you don't want it. But everybody likes to buy stuff. I know this. I look at my credit card statement. Boy, do I like to buy stuff. So we don't like to be salted, but we do like to buy stuff. So work on that principle. If you know who your avatar is, paint value to them. Real value to them, and they will want to buy from you. And you can do that in your funnel. That's what the funnel is. It's there to nurture. It's that little baby that you're looking after them, and you're taking them step by step. This is like dating. So I'm a man. So for me, I go back to when I was younger and I was dating women, and when I was immature and I was just started dating women. Hey, here's the thing. I only wanted one thing. And I'm not going to say what that is because there may be some children listening to this, but you can probably picture what that one thing was. And the desperation and the extreme focused want and need of that part of me could be spotted 1,000 miles away from women. Women did not want to know my story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was out for what I could get for me. Go in and nurture in a way that is valuing them and what is available for them. So I always suggest maybe a 5 email funnel. You're going to acknowledge the fact that they've got your opt-in magnet, whatever it is that they downloaded. It was valuable to them. Come on, that's why they downloaded it. Now here's the next thing. Make sure you've got a call to action in each one of your in each one of your emails. So at the end of the day, this is still conversion marketing. Yes, we need to be customer centric, but it's not all tree hugging. You know, this is real business, and we need conversions at the end of the day. And we're moving towards that big goal of having happy, satisfied customers who go out and shout the name of our business and tell everyone how amazing our products or services are. Yours, listening to this now. Yeah. So always have a call to action in everything you send out. Make sure that everything you send out has one purpose only. Not, hey, here's your download that I promised you. Here's my Facebook, join that. Here's a couple of YouTube videos that I think that you're going to like that's going to kind of give you an overview of my products. Let me just give you this link. You're going to go through to my About page where you're going to learn why I do what I do. Here's 3 pictures of my kids. Let me tell you about my dog. Guess what car I drive? They don't care. They only want their thing. So you make it one subject and one call to action per mail. So, hey, here's your download. Your next mail will be acknowledging the fact that they took your download. Hi, Sam. Just wanted to touch base with you and see how you're getting on with that ebook you downloaded. Hope you've had a little bit of time to run over it. and then just recap the reason they opted in at the moment. Remember, the book is about X, Y, and Z, three of the reasons that was kind of on your opt-in at the moment. And I really hope you get a whole pile of value from that. If you haven't had a look at that, really go and have a look now, because there's awesome value, and I know that's going to make a difference for you. Then I can put under there, join my Facebook group. If you want to join like-minded people just like you that also want to X, Y, Z, why not join the Facebook group? It's absolutely free, and you're going to meet other people just like you, and this is what we talk about, X, whatever the niche is. Yeah? So that's email 2. Email 3. It's great getting someone in something like a Facebook group or something where you've got some kind of social proof. In a Facebook group, you would hope that you've already got your goal, a couple of maybe customers who are raving fans that are in there going, whoa, I love this guy's stuff or this girl's stuff or this company's stuff. So it's great for social proof because you've got other people shouting praises for you. Your third one, you might say, I was thinking of you, Sam, and in the book that you downloaded, I mentioned X, Y, and Z. If you wanted to take that to the next level, I've actually got this video that you're going to absolutely love. It's actually taken from a course that I wrote on X niche. Go and have a look at this. With my compliments, I really hope that you get some value out of that. Bang. And the call to action, just clickable through to the video. All of this is nurturing, but it's delivering value. And you're not saying, hey, buy my stuff. Hey, buy my stuff. You're not even giving them a link to your stuff. And then in the next one, you might say, something along the lines of acknowledge the video. Oh, one thing I'm missing out here, always put a hook in for what you might give them later. So watch over that video. I think you're going to love it. I've actually got a mind map that will be really useful, but it's only going to make sense after you've looked at the video. I'll send that to you in a few days' time when you've had a chance to look at that. Hey, did you have a chance to have a look at that video? I promise you the mind map. Here's the mind map over here. All this stuff's taken from my course. If you want to see the course, want to have a look over that and see if it maybe feels like a fit for you, here it is. Here's the link, because kind of you're obviously interested in this. So I'm going to give you a 7-day discount or something like that. So there's kind of, if I'm rambling here, but there's a person-centric funnel and kind of how that might look.
And I suppose if they've invested up to you in that point where you've sent that 5th email, there's a pretty good chance they're going to click through and actually check out the course. So
there is, and here's the other thing. If conversion marketing is about measuring, so you want to be using tools to be able to see if they have clicked. It's a lot conversion marketing and customer-centric marketing would be a lot better if I could say, Sam, I see you went and watched that video. I hope you liked it. Or Sam, I see you haven't had time to have a look at that video yet. If you can customize and personalize it, the more you can personalize it, the better. That is about tools. And the tools are out there and the technologies are out there, but the person-centered focus remains the same. Here's the thing, and this is where a lot of people make a mistake. So let's say you don't buy my thing. So maybe email 4 is go and have a look at my thing. Maybe email 5 is a little bit of a stronger call to action. You really got to go and look at my thing because your discount's going to end now. So let's say they don't buy your thing. Don't throw them away. Is that it now? They never hear from you again because they didn't buy your thing. That's when you want to show what you're really made of. Trust is not easily earned. We spoke about trust a little bit earlier, and we're all out there. Everyone wants your trust. Every email that you get that wants to sell you something, they want your trust. You're not giving it, and you're not giving it easy. So when they don't buy your thing by email number 5, do not throw them away. Continue to provide value for this person. Put together a nice long sequence that delivers value for a period of time for this person and put an offer in front of them again at a later stage. They may know you, like you, and trust you better at that stage.
Again, more invaluable golden nuggets there for the guys to work with. And Ken, we're kind of running to the back of the hour now, so we're going to have to wrap this up soon. But have you got any more final parting words of wisdom for the listeners of the show today?
Be you. So be authentically you. Don't be scared to be you. It's very tempting to listen to podcasts, read blog posts, and to kind of idolize the high flyers, the gurus that are out there, try to emulate them. Here's the truth. You can hear a technique or a strategy on a podcast or read it in a blog post and think, oh man, and the guy had a a $70 trillion 5-second launch, and you think, oh, that's definitely the way, and I'm going to do that now. If it's not you, it's not going to work for you. And so often we can feel like utter failures. You know, we take something that the guy has spoken for over an hour about how successful this strategy is, and all you need to do this, and you're going to boost your list by so many thousand people. When you do it, and it doesn't even move the needle, and you think, you know, it must be me.
Yeah.
It must be me, and you feel downhearted, and no, it's find you first. It's you that you need to bring into this. A lifelong time ago, I was a performing artist. And I remember when I went out as a performing artist, I was a magician. I did magic tricks. Oh, still love magic tricks to this day. And I remember my magic teacher was saying, I need a character. I need to develop a character. And I would watch the greats of magic and try and be like them. And he said, no, you have to find yourself. And I thought, what a stupid thing. Find myself. I know where I am. Yeah. But it's true. You've got to find yourself. You've got to find your voice. You've got to find your authenticity. And that comes from step number 1 that I shared with you. Yes. Examining and challenging your self-concept. Who am I? What the hell am I doing this for? Who is the real me? Be the real you. Because here's what I can tell every single one of you listening to this. The real you is good enough. You don't have to try and be anything else. Come as you are, because that's what's going to sell you.
I love that. And Ken, finally, before we leave you today, where can people find you online, and how can they get in touch with you?
conversionmarketer.com. If something has been of interest to you today, if you've thought, hey, I want a little bit of that, conversionmarketer.com, that's where you'll find me.
And like always, guys, I'm going to post all of Ken's contact details, links to his websites in the show notes below, and there'll also be a link to his Recognizing Your Avatar Blueprint as well. And I'd thoroughly recommend getting onto that and checking that out. And Ken, thank you so much for coming on today. That was an incredible interview. I don't know if you saw, I was jotting like mad myself. I've got so many notes from that personally, and I know the listeners would have got a lot from that too. So thank you for giving us an hour of your time today.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, and there it is, guys. As promised, that was an incredible show. And do you know what? We are so fortunate that we have had so many amazing guests on this show so far. For a podcast that is very new in its development, we have had some very high-profile people coming on. And it's not just about the names we're bringing on, it's about the value they're bringing. And this takes nothing away from the other people we've interviewed, but I think that was by far one of the best interviews we've had, purely on the basis that Ken, I mean, he wasn't dropping golden nuggets, he was dropping golden bricks there. I mean, Ken, you delivered unbelievable value time and time again. And just thank you for highlighting the pros of using customer-centric marketing and really going into detail about how the listeners can utilize this method of marketing to grow and develop their own business. So, guys, thank you again for listening in. We really, really, really love the fact that you're coming back week after week and just getting something from this show. And what we want to do, guys, is still our mission to get right up that business listing on the iTunes library. It is still our mission to get in that new and noteworthy section. So it's very important to us that if you do enjoy the content we're putting out there, just please take a minute, hit the iTunes tab, or you can go to, I think we're on Stitcher as well, Blubberry we're on as well if you're not a Mac user or an iPhone user, and you can just rate, subscribe and review this show, and that will just help us out so much in getting up the listings and getting more listeners onto this show. And with more listeners, guys, comes more personalities, more people we can bring on every week to interview, and with more people we can bring more value. So it's a win-win for everyone, and we are here just to deliver as much value as possible to help you set up and run your own businesses. And that is it, guys. So thank you so much for joining us for today's session. We are back in next week like normal with more amazing guests to bring to you. Hope you have an amazing week, guys, and we'll see you next time on the MyCoda podcast.